what was your involvement with Letitia James and Adam Schiff and the indictment? Were you at all involved with that? Did you start the process, or?
I criminally referred Letitia James for mortgage fraud. We believe that was mortgage fraud.
So that was
now
you?
been indicted. Yeah, that was our agency, yes. And then also criminally referred Adam Schiff for mortgage fraud as well. And I'm only talking about this publicly because they've talked about it and it's been out there publicly. But those are two cases that I believe are mortgage fraud. And mortgage fraud is a huge problem. Also, one of the contributors rising to increasing housing costs.
So what was exactly, how did they exactly exercise? We've read these stories, but from your mouth, how did they exercise mortgage fraud?
Well, Letitia James has, in my view, a long history of alleged mortgage fraud. She claimed many years ago in the 80s that her father was her husband on a mortgage document, multiple mortgage documents.
Letitia James claimed her father was her husband.
That's right.
Wow, the Omar playbook, OG.
And so, you look at that, and then you look at the fact she has a house in Brooklyn. She has a house in Virginia that she declared as her primary residence. She's the Attorney General of New York. How is she declaring primary residence in the state of Virginia? Then on top of that, she's also declaring that she has a second home in Virginia. So she has two homes that we know of in Virginia, and she's claiming that that's a second home when we believe it is not a second home. So, it's very weird to me, Patrick, that these politicians, I don't know where they get all this money from. And it does raise the question, is it because of mortgage fraud that they're able to get a lot of these properties that other people might not be able to?
And Bill, for people listening, tell them what happens when you declare a house as your primary resident. Tell them about the discount they're getting. So they're cheating to get a discount on their mortgage, and that's where the fraud is, because they're claiming multiple primary residences,
That's
correct?
right, yeah. So they get significant discounts, and what happens is,
from the federal government, from Fannie and Freddie.
Essentially, in so many ways. It's a little bit more intricate, but yes, there
from
is
the banks
benefits.
that are
Yes, and we as taxpayers, right, we saw this in 2008. We cannot have another housing crash again where people have multiple homes, where they say it's for one thing and then it's really for another. You have a primary home, a secondary home, and then an investment property. And it looks to me like in many cases, these should have been primary. In the case of Letitia James, the secondary home should have been an investment property. And I believe that the primary home should have also been an investment property.
Yeah. So by the way, I just asked the question on ChatGPT. Rob, if you can pull it up, what the question was. The question is, did Letitia James claim in a mortgage that her father was her husband? Yes. There are credible reports that she, the Attorney General from New York, is allegedly to have listed in a mortgage document as the spouse of her father. The Federal Housing Finance Agency, in a letter to the United States of DOJ, states that in 1983, a mortgage document for a property purchased by James and her father listed them as a husband and a wife. The FHFA further notes that a similar listing, husband and wife, showed up in documents again in 2000. James's lawyer says otherwise, but and so what's the case? This is pretty wild to be thinking about this. What is the crime for something like this?
Well, remember, this is back in the 80s, but to me what it shows is a pattern in practice of mortgage fraud. And this is somebody who went after the president and went after many other people, frankly, for fraud and for different things. And it turns out, in my opinion, that she's the fraudster. And so you have the situation where now, as you see in this quote, it says that Abby Lowell, who's, by the way, it's very odd, Abby Lowell is also representing Lisa Cook, who I've alleged has committed mortgage fraud. She's the Federal Reserve governor that the president fired, if you remember. So it's very odd that Abby Lowell is representing, in my view, this is just my own opinion, both Letitia James and Lisa Cook. And here he is allegedly saying that it's a data entry or clerical error that, you listed as a wife. But look,
not that it's not there, not that it's not present, but it's a data entry error.
And, this is the thing
In
is
1983.
Yeah.
And then again in 2000. And, these are the things that...
No one is above the law. Repeat after me.
Yeah. So it's disappointing. But look, we have to hold everyone accountable who commits mortgage fraud. And if we see it, we're going to say something.
What is it with Adam Schiff? How different is his case?
It's similar, but different. He claimed two primary residences at once. So he claimed that his primary residence was in the state of Maryland, and he also claimed that his primary residence was in the state of California. And what his attorney has done is gone on a public relations campaign to defame me and say, try to attack me for reporting this for what is alleged mortgage fraud, and try to make it political. They've tried to make it political. Look, if you say you live in Maryland and that's your primary residence, you can't simultaneously say that your primary residence is in California. And what's also concerning is that he said allegedly that he lived in this He lived, his primary residence was in California in a 1-unit condo, so a 1-room condo, and he has a family of 4. So explain that. So, this is the type of stuff that, going into Washington, D.C., if I see something, I'm going to say something, I'm giving away my salary. I'm there to serve the president. If I see it, I'm going to do it. And, if they're going to attack me, they're going to attack me.
Will anything happen to these guys?
Well, Letitia James has been indicted for mortgage fraud, and she just had her arraignment last Friday, if you may have seen that. And so that's that situation. With regard to Adam Schiff, that's up to the DOJ, and the Letitia James thing is up to the DOJ. I'm not a prosecutor. I just a mortgage and housing guy, and if we see mortgage fraud, we're going to say something. And I'm not going to be intimidated by all these politicians, lawyers who are trying to attack me because we're saying that they're not above the law.
That's pretty wild to see this. That the claims they made against others is exactly what they're doing themselves, but nobody is surprised by that. I mean, it keeps happening over and over and over again. 2026 is around the corner. I am convinced this is going to be a very, very special year. In my opinion, I think we got this other rate cut that's coming. I think we're going to have 3 more in 2026, give or take, based on what Goldman Sachs and a lot of other people are saying. We may even experience a new person that's running the Fed by June-ish, I think June 26th-ish, around that time, that could turn things around the second half of the year. If the China-U.S. trade deal gets done, it could be an unbelievable day for the stock market. However, all of that stuff going into 2026, what that means to you is nothing if you're not prepared for it going into 2026 with momentum. So having said that, if you don't yet have a plan to write out a great business plan for yourself, your family, your executives, your employees, watch this video, Rob, if you have. This is a video we shot of me going into a car, driving a car that goes 1.9 seconds, 0 to 60. And I also borrowed Vinny's old car to see, what was it, Rob? Was it a Prius? We're testing to see the difference between a Prius on 0 to 60 and then versus the Tesla Plaid. The owner was freaking out saying, I don't know if you can handle it or not. I said, I've been driving fast cars for a very long time, but I want you to watch this video. Rob, what speed do you have it on?
Just 1.
Okay.
Regular.
Watch this video, folks. Speed matters when it comes down to business. Go ahead, Rob.
Holy sh! How fast you grow your business matters. Behind me, I have a 2019 Toyota Corolla, and I have a Model S Tesla Plaid. You're gonna see how fast it goes. It's absolutely insane. 1, 2, 3.
This is Vinny's car.
Still haven't hit it. Come on, Corolla. 10 seconds. Oh my gosh. Still got from A to B, but it's super slow. Any of these companies that eventually dominate their competitors, their edge isn't always just product, it's speed. This took way too long to go from 0 to 60. Here we go. Now we're in the Plaid. Let's see how this does. 0 to 60. Holy shit. Oh my God, that was amazing. So notice the difference. 0 to 60 in the Corolla, 9-10 seconds. This was less than 2 seconds.
So at this point, we know speed is critical in business. The question becomes, with 2026 around the corner, it'll be here in no time. How prepared are you going to be versus all your competitors? Once a year, I host an event called the Business Planning Workshop, where we cover the 12 building blocks on how to write a proper business plan that drives emotion and logic. If you've never attended it, do whatever you can for you, your wife, your team to tune in together. It's the only one we do that's through a webinar, which means anybody from anywhere around the world can tune into the Business Planning Workshop. It's December 12th. We start first thing in the morning. We go till very, very late. If you haven't registered yet, click on the link below to get registered. I cannot wait to see you there. All right, there you go, Rob. Let's put the link below. For some of you guys that are only listening to the audio, go to bpw.beddavidconsulting.com. Again, bpw.beddavidconsulting.com, or the link below. Get registered. We'll spend a day together on December 12th and make that the beginning of the greatest years of your life in 2026. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.